Okay. Well, in DBR here, welcome to the Hamityville Horror. Thank you for visiting. I am Clint.
I am Don.
And we are joined here today with a very special, legendary guest. I feel like I've been using that term a lot lately. We've been talking to some wonderful people. Tonight, we're going to be talking to Eileen Dietz. How are you doing?
I just lost you because I have this thing in front of me that says this meeting is being recorded by the host or a participant. Maybe there's a way to get out of it. Okay, got it.
There we go.
Okay,
here I am.
You hearing us
how
now?
Are you?
I'm fine. I'm crazy. My life is insane. I got so many projects coming up and so much stuff to do. And what is that picture up there? What is that?
On his screen or mine?
Yeah.
Oh, on my screen? That's actually from a video game that I really like to play. If you're familiar with the Alien movies, they made a video game called Alien Isolation, and that's one of the synthetics from the game. So it's just one of those things that I like a lot, and somebody gave it to me as a gift, so I put it up in my office.
Well, I'm too old for video games.
Yeah, that's okay. They're not for everybody.
I really know generation thing.
Yeah. That's very cool.
He's a nerd.
Yeah, a
little too, so I can't deny that either. I got Funkos and everything behind
I'm a
me,
nerd that likes horror movies, so I can say that.
That's right. So
how did you guys get into doing this podcast?
You want to do it, or you want me to explain it?
Well, I mean, it is kind of an interesting story. We were listening to another podcast, and we actually there was a group gathering related to that podcast, and we just happened to be at the same gathering, and we started talking, and after the event we stayed in touch, and he just one day out of the blue said, you know what, we ought to do a podcast too. I was like, okay, well, what do you want to do it on? So it's long story short, we decided on horror movies, and we kind of morphed that into talking about independent films quite a bit, and we're still doing it.
How long have you?
Believe it or not, only a year. We just passed our 1-year anniversary this month.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
And I'm going to interview you instead of me.
That's quite all right.
You guys like horror films?
Oh, absolutely,
100%.
Is that your favorite genre?
I think I might be more of a sci-fi fan if I'm going to put them in order. That's probably my first love, but I have to say that I enjoy it a lot more when they incorporate the sci-fi and the horror element together.
Like,
I love horror.
Yeah.
No, but what's an example of emerging sci-fi and horror?
Probably the most famous example would be the original Alien from 1979. I mean, it's a legit sci-fi movie, but it's got some very horrific elements, including body horror.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
The alien out of that body? The whole audience shook.
Yeah, that movie, I saw it when I was probably way too young to see it, and it has stuck with me ever since. It's still one of my favorites.
How old were you?
I want to say I was probably still in single digits. It might have been like 9, maybe
Yeah.
9 years old.
I've done 2 sci-fi things, but nobody talked to them.
Yeah. Well, what were they? Because I don't think that I'm super familiar.
Planet of the Apes, the TV.
The TV show. Now I did know that. Okay.
Yeah. And the other one is Parts, the Clonosaur. It's a real cult film.
Well, then I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, we're going to look that one up.
I got to see that.
Yeah, it's a real cult film, and it's just an interesting story because I knew the people who were producing it, and I said, the movie is really good, except for the woman who does the lead, who is too old. And I was a lot younger then. And I said, afterwards, I was shy, I guess. And I said, why didn't you put me in the lead? And he said, never thought of it. So I play one of the pods in the Clonosaur, where people are being, they're duplicating people and turning them into government officials.
Ooh.
And
well, I'm intrigued.
That sounds amazing.
And of course, the guy who did the lead just went out of my head. But I'll remember it when we're done.
I'm sure.
Peter Graves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was Peter Graves did the lead in it.
Okay, so, that's cool.
So those are my 2 sci-fi things.
I like it. Well, I'm going to look for that.
Yeah, obviously, I do mostly horror, and I do a lot of horror.
Yeah,
you do a lot of horror.
Yeah,
but you know what? We're not going to talk a lot about. Well, we'll get to.
This is a special year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, just throwing it out there. I mean, it's basically 50 years since The Exorcist came out.
Not basically, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
1953.
Yeah, we are right there. So
I shot it. Well, no.
So are there going to be like special events planned for that, like screenings of the film that maybe you'll make an appearance at?
Well, between you and me and the world, Warner Brothers doesn't really like me, nor does Billy Freakin, nor does Linda Blair.
I've heard that.
Yeah, they actually think I was responsible for them not winning the Oscars, which is absolutely absurd because I'm that powerful that I control the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. And I said, nope, they didn't give me any credit. Don't give them an Oscar. I mean, it's so absurd. But they released a story before I came out here. I took an acting class with somebody in New York who knew somebody in the LA Times who told the gossip columnists at the time that I was coming out here and that I did so and so and so in the movies. And they felt because I came out, Linda Blair particularly, that because they said that, that's why she didn't win the Oscar. But number one, horror films still don't really win Oscars. They just don't. You know, but that was really a thriller. And so did Silence of the Lambs. But that was really, I mean, if horror film, Malcolm McDowell would have won an Oscar for Clockwork Orange. I mean, he's so brilliant in it. Or the makeup Oscars they have now. They never give them to horror. There's just no, for some reason, they don't accept it. So the whole premise, I think, is absolutely stupid. But it is what it is. So, but to answer your question, I'm doing a lot of events, not just through Warner Brothers.
Right.
And there aren't that many people doing them because most of the people are dead.
Sure.
That's true. That is very true.
Max von Sydow, who is a friend, he passed last year. Owen Ross, camera person, passed 2 months ago. Of course, Jason Miller passed years and years ago. And even the doctor passed. He just passed. The girl who did Spider Walk, she just passed. So 50 years, I guess, is a long time.
It is.
I'm good. I'm healthy. So there's Linda and Ellen and Freakin and me, basically.
Wow.
Yes, that's enough.
Wow.
That's enough.
Ellen and Billy Freakin are like 83, 82,
Wow.
83 or something like that. So it might end up with just me and Miss Blair.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned doing a lot of events, and I think you're going to be in an event very soon that we're planning to go to.
Isn't that exciting?
We're hoping to see you in Atlantic City at the end of March.
Yep.
I'm kind of jealous of this book that Don bought. I mean, I knew it was out there, but I didn't hit you up to get one. So I don't know if you're going to sell them at the event, but that would be super cool if you did.
I'm going to have a lot of really nice stuff and that we're putting together for the 50th anniversary. Like, I have a couple 8x10 signed by Dick Smith, the makeup guy, and by he doesn't know I have them. So we're probably going to frame them and sell them. And I have new 8x10s that I've just gotten, stuff like that.
Oh man.
I always have two because I have a little store.
That's great.
That's what she told me. She said,
sounds like somebody could spend a lot of money at your
She said, you got to buy more stuff. I'm like, yes, please.
Yes, I take credit cards.
Maxing it out.
How much easier it is to buy a lot of stuff when you have credit cards.
Absolutely. Yeah. Way too easy. Way just
in easy. Life, right? It's like Amazon. Well, my mailing is free, so it's only $19. I can get that. And then you look at Amazon and go, I spent $400. How did that happen?
Free shipping is everybody's like, oh, Amazon Prime's great. Yeah. If you're almost a millionaire, because you got to figure free shipping. I can get it here tomorrow, maybe the next day. I think you spend more now because you can do that than ever before.
Oh, there's no question about it. And then we keep saying, well, we don't buy anything we don't need. Well, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Try again.
Anyway, I do take credit cards, and usually about 40% of everything I sell is through credit cards. So I have a couple other cons coming up besides that. And I'm also shooting, I think it's 5 new films. 3 of them at the end of March, and then a couple in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Except their GoFundMe, so I can promote them. Hello, I'm promoting.
Yeah. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
We promote on our Facebook page, and we try to get people involved. So I mean, that's one of the things that we really like is being a part of like the indie movie scene, and I think it's really awesome that that lately that's been your main focus, is being in some of these we'll say movies that might not otherwise get seen, so what
I've shot I think 14 films in the last 2 years, and the thing is a lot of them are ending up on Tubi.
They are
Tubi, everything, so they are on Tubi, and you can go to Tubi and just put a name in, and you'll probably find parts of Clonosaur, I think.
I can tell you.
But I've shot 15 films in the last 2 years, and I have these, hopefully 7 films coming up.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm totally blessed.
Absolutely. One of them, you worked with another part of Hamityville, our guy, or I should say our gal, Jamie Apple, with an indie film, With Child.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we're looking for money. And Jamie's great. Isn't she great?
She's amazing.
She's wonderful.
And we did a teaser. What do they call it? They call it something teaser. Where we went to Chicago and we shot just one little scene in order to raise money. But it's really, and it's unique. It's about a woman who's pregnant that keeps seeing all these young children coming in from the future, and they want her to abort the baby. And they're all frightening. They all have these great masks on them, and they're really terrifying. And the film it's horror, but it also says a lot about women and women who are pregnant and stuff like that. And it's going to be a really fun film. We got to the first one, to shoot the teaser and stuff like that. So any of you guys, the best way to do it, and you can do it anyway, is to friend me on Facebook and do it quick because I have room. What is this 5,000 fan cutoff?
That's you know what? It's
I
just
don't
one of
know.
those
I've never
things.
been anywhere near it.
You just that damn popular.
Yeah, no, I have about 200 people on the waiting list,
Oh wow.
which I feel bad about. And I don't want to do a fan thing because I think it's impersonal.
The fan
Yeah.
page.
Yeah, it's just a big old advertisement or something. So any of you guys out there that's interested in donating to With Child, or also to another film I'm going to do, it's called The Dark World of Oz. Dark World of Oz.
Oh, I'm excited about that one. One of Don's favorite movies is Return to Oz. And so as a result, whenever that word comes up, he's interested.
Oh, if it's Oz, I'm in. I don't know why. I just it's Return to Oz was just creepy. It was, because you went from, and I don't know if you've actually seen Return to Oz.
When I was a child, my mother read some of the books to me, and I definitely read the others because there's a whole group of them. Mm-hmm. Glenda of Oz and the Witch of Oz, and Frank Baum wrote a whole series of books on Oz.
So anytime you hear I hear Oz, I'm in.
And I think they got lost with my sisters or something like that.
It was definitely dark, and they got really dark in the series, and that's why I like Return to Oz, because it was, you go from Wizard of Oz to Return to Oz, and it was just like, whoa, guys, what the hell happened here? What did you, where did you guys go for this dark place? Because this is not how the first one was, or the original one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Is this
Are you going to love this film then? Because what happens is, first of all, it's being produced and directed by one of the best FX artists out here in LA. His name is Larry Bones. I don't know if that's his real name or not, but our Dorothy character gets shot in a robbery in a liquor store, and when she wakes up, she's in the middle of her fantasies, which is on the way to Oz. So all of a sudden, the Scarecrow is a monster, the Tin Man is a monster, and so is the Cowardly Lion, and of course all the flying witches, the flying bird things. Of course, they're even more nuts. And I play Auntie M, who's a child abuser.
Oh my!
Me and Uncle Henry. So we did one of these concept teasers for that one too, and that was really fun because my character is really mean and really a bitch. Not So that's called The Dark World of Oz, and that also has a GoFundMe account. So you guys up there, I can't give you the links here. Maybe you guys can, but
I'm already on it.
I don't have it. I have to give it to you. But you also, we'll talk about my my merchandise later. But what I would suggest is that, if you're interested, and please, only if you're interested in the link or buying some of my stuff, then you can friend me, send me a PM, and I'll give you all the details. But if you start just saying, hi, I want to say hi, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I can't do that on personal messages. That's why they're called personal. So it's like, my message thing is really just for close friends and relatives and people who want to find out stuff. So I invite you to go to Facebook. I have 3 accounts. I don't know why, but the account with myself and my husband is the right one. And just write me and tell me what you need. And you can always also, go to my notification or go to email Eileen@eileendietz.com, and I'll answer one question from everybody. Or you can go to a notification on Facebook, guys. That's my commercial.
That was good. Oh. That was phenomenal. That was great.
That works well.
Counts. I think they're getting out of hand, and the perks they're offering are out of hand. And I generally don't offer perks because there's just too many of them. But these 2 projects, I just really, really believe in. or I wouldn't be talking about them.
Sure. No, I'm with you on that one.
I know horror films, so trust me.
Wonder why. Wonder how.
Think
Wonder,
about that.
right. So I love your book. Absolutely love it. Got to learn so much about you.
I have that for sale.
Clint's buying it, or I'll buy it for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy it. I'm gonna have to buy it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy it.
You'll buy it at the convention, so
Yes.
we'll say.
Yes.
Oh, and don't buy it on Amazon because you don't get an autograph.
Told you, Clint.
I
And
know.
Clint was like, I'm gonna get it. He's like, I'm glad I didn't get it off Amazon. I'm like, yeah, man, don't.
And I
Here's
don't make
why.
it money they give you. It's just ridiculous on Amazon.
No doubt.
Right.
So, like I said, give me your money. Use your Prime shipping to get my book faster, but you don't get an autograph. Screw you guys.
No, it always goes. Anything you buy always goes 2-day delivery because it's safer. And
Yeah,
you can.
screw that. I didn't get to track mine, and I got mine.
I'm actually going to shut up for a while. Go ahead.
Why you shut up? That's not
I
what
told-
this is about. So, well, we're interviewing you.
That's why we brought you in. So you can
Exactly.
talk about yourself.
Thomas, I said I can talk too much.
Go for it. Go for it, please.
So
You know, I did a study of men, and all men think women talk too much, even when they don't. Like if they're together and having a conversation.
Really? My wife tells
I
me to
don't-
shut the hell up all the time, so I guess
I don't know if I think that or not. I guess
Yeah, I
it
don't-
depends on the person. I mean, I do enjoy talking to some.
Yeah, right.
Are you
My
guys
wife's
married?
like, shut-
We
Yes.
are.
Okay, so we're really talking about you and your wife, not general people.
Oh yeah, my wife tells me to shut the hell up. She's like, "Can you just shut up and listen to me?" I'm like, "You've already talked for an hour. I've only gotten 5 minutes into this."
Yeah.
So
And
I mean,
my wife doesn't talk too much. She barely speaks to me.
I don't know.
That's very funny. Clint, you go one.
So you mentioned Tubi and a few of your movies being on there. I took notice of this and I watched a couple of those. I want to say that I particularly enjoyed The Last Sleigh Ride. It was not what I expected, or at least it became something that I did not expect. And I enjoyed your grandma character very much.
Vampire.
Yeah, and I don't know if you did or not, but I would love it very much if you told me that you got to ad lib a bunch of those lines because they were just over the top and you were completely crazy. If you said, that you just randomly threw up double middle fingers on set, that would make my night.
It was a comedy, but Jason Hawkins, who wrote it, is
Uh-huh.
a really, really good writer. He really writes great scripts. So a lot of it wasn't, but there's always a couple of things that you improvise. But I love the character. Me. I need me. She's so insane. I mean, she's so crazy.
Yeah.
How'd you like the end? We won't tell the spoiler, but that end scene is really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I did too. I enjoyed it very much.
Mm-hmm. And I also caught Of the Devil, which that was interesting. You played a concerned neighbor with a little pug named Ravioli, and
Yeah, house doing this voiceover thing with them. I was just there for 3 hours. So.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too because you just seemed to be somebody who was concerned. Gave some advice that you thought was helpful. This family went on this horrible ride, and came back home to create some havoc in the community. And I have to say that I could not believe how crazy your character went by the end of that movie. That was over the top, and I seriously thought you were having like a medical event in that scene. But
I go in the backyard and see that boy with, again, I don't want to give it away, and see what the boy did which I thought was brilliant writing. And the prop was made by Kelton's wife, Susan, who's amazing. I mean, she's creating some other stuff for some other movie I saw today. But that scene, and it was the first scene we shot at 7:30 in the morning, because we shot in Palmdale, which is the high desert, and it was 108 degrees. And we couldn't even bring the dog out there because dogs can't breathe. Pugs can't breathe. Eat. So it was the first scene we ever shot in the whole movie. And I went, whoa. Wow. And they went, oh, she can really act.
Yeah. That's amazing. That was the first scene that you shot. I mean, and it's the most impactful to me. So
I'm so happy I saw two absolutely wonderful projects.
Yeah.
There's some Dutch. Of course, I'm always wink, wink.
You're always
wink,
wonderful.
Yes. See, again, we just don't, that's the good thing about like what we do is we go and look for projects that are, because everybody can talk to you about The Exorcist left and right, up and down. And we're like, you're more than just one movie. And that's kind of what we're, why we wanted you on here, because a lot of the projects that you're involved in, that's why we do what we do. The indie scene is very sacred to us because we've been embraced by a lot of people on the indie scene. And it just means a lot that, we can talk to you who's been involved with it, who's actually been involved with somebody we know very well. So it just means a lot to know that it doesn't matter what the project is, you want to put your 100% into it. Don't half-ass it. And yeah, the two projects that we've seen with you in it, that's that's just I'd say 120% is what you brought. Because again, both of those roles you were batshit crazy. And it doesn't, and like Clint said, the medical event.
Nobody ever cast me as like just a maternal rom-com or something like that.
They totally could.
They could
do it.
But only if she was crazy. So that must have been Jamie, right?
Yes.
That brought us together, because she told me about you on the set when we did the concept trailer. Mm-hmm. And that's how we got together. But see, the thing I really like about doing indies is like the concept trailer we just did for The Dark World of Oz. Everybody's there because they want to be there. They're not doing it for the money, for God's sake. They're not doing it for any other reason except they want to be part of this stuff. So there's just a vibrant kind of energy that you work with, and everybody's so committed. In The Dark World of Oz, the cinematographer, he might have been working for nothing. All the crew, the people, everybody's just having an amazing time. They don't complain about hours. They don't complain about, the distance we had to travel for that one. You know what I mean? It's just, that's the beauty of indie films. And then one of them breaks through, like Terrifier 2. It's made over $10 million on a $250,000 budget.
Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
What do I have to do to be cast in Terrifier 3?
Just show up.
Yeah. You just show up, or
I mean, we got Felissa Rose is in there, Tam Glenn's in there, so all you'd have to do is just take you're right there in Hollywood, just boom, hey, where y'all at? Let me show up.
Tam's in with Chuck.
Yes, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's I never thought an indie horror film could do what that did.
I haven't seen it because people keep saying to me it's so gross that I won't like it. Is that true?
Oh, it's brutal. I mean, it's brutal, but
it's over the top.
Yeah,
with a lot of gore. It seems torturous in some spots. Definitely. Mm-hmm. If you don't like that, then you won't like that movie.
I don't like that movie at all.
But the interesting thing about The Exorcist and stuff like that, all the films they really made in the 80s, late 70s, there's no blood and guts in any of them.
Right.
Not in Halloween, not even in Chainsaw. There's no blood in that. They're just talking about it. So I make a difference now between horror and thrillers. and all those movies I just mentioned, including The Exorcist, that has no blood in it. Uh, they're thrillers. They have plots. They have people. They have, you know, what they call an arc. The character goes from here and changes over to there. All that kind of horror today. A lot of horror, and I don't know about Terrifier because I haven't seen it. It's just all blood and guts. You know, people think they can pick up a camera and shoot them and buy as much blood as they can find, and that's their whole movie. It's just this, you know, stuff like that. So I always differentiate a little bit between horror and thrillers.
I love the fact that you said that. I love it because you bring up a very good point with the movies back then and movies now. You don't have to have blood and guts to have a successful movie. And The Exorcist is a prime example. I mean, it had its moments, obviously, with you know, with Reagan, with, you know, peeing on the floor, the pea soup coming down the stairs with the blood out of her mouth, but it was never anything over the top.
Right. I sell Captain Howdy's green pea soup.
Don't you sell cans of that, don't you?
Yeah.
See?
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I interrupt people all the time.
No, please. This is
okay.
you're our guest. You can say, "Shut up, let me talk," and we will. Trust me, we're good.
Yeah, but you were making a point about the movies. The extras, of course, they had her peeing and throwing up.
Well, the best thing about it is that, you know, like you said, and this is one thing that really differentiates horror from then to now, is that you have these iconic movies like the ones that are in everybody's top 10. You have Halloween, barely any blood, and you said the one thing, a character arc. You know, you have Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie in there. You see how she is in the beginning, and you see how she is by the end of the movie. She's totally different. By that time, she's already transcended more than, you know, any other character in the movie. Same thing with Texas Chainsaw. You have Sally. Same thing. She starts off, she's all, you know, golden, bright smile in the beginning. By the end of it, she's a stark raving maniac in the back of a truck because she just escaped from literally a family of cannibals. And even The Exorcist, you know, with Linda Blair at the end, you know, she's got a couple scratches, doesn't remember anything, you know, kisses the priest at the end. Same thing. She's had her character arc. She's gone through what she went through. And I love the fact that you say that because now it's all about over the top gore. It's all about, you know, well, how much torture can we get into a horror movie? And it's just not what it takes to make. Yeah, of course, it's called a horror movie for a reason. You want people to be scared. You want people to think about the things that you're doing. But I can tell you one thing right now. My mom had always told me that the scariest movie she ever saw was The Exorcist. That was the scariest movie, and she was a Catholic. And I didn't understand it until I saw it. And I'm like, okay, this shit is terrifying. This is literally terrifying. And there was nothing really, again, nobody got stabbed, nobody got murdered, nobody got, you know, it wasn't over the top. But it was the subject matter that made it terrifying, made it scary. Same thing, Halloween, babysitters. You're all alone. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah,
so that was
but
that.
The Exorcist and things like Halloween, but mainly The Exorcist, and that was the brilliance of Dick Smith. I think maybe people know out there he's really the father of makeup, and he taught all the people who are doing makeup now the art of it, and it was through him that they made the Reagan character so recognizable. Yeah, I mean, they could have created, and we did makeup tests where they could have created this demon with the big eyes, and you know, we did use teeth, but like you said, they were just scratches and stuff. So the person could be your own daughter, or you could be that person yourself because it wasn't like way out there somewhere. And that's part of the beauty of what made it so horrifying, that parents could walk into that room and think, oh my God, my kid could be there. Or the kids themselves would say, oh my God, I could be possessed, because you could just identify with that. And I think that's also the brilliance of all movies, that you have to be able to identify with the characters so that you feel either their pain or their anger or their craziness, and stuff like that. But you can identify it. But if you create really crazy characters, then you just sit back and you just watch it. So that way, and Halloween too, that they had a monster that you could identify with. And now they've made him really big, tall, and
Yeah.
that person's weird. But in the original Halloween, it could and was the person living down the street. And the other thing is to do situations that you could find yourself in, like you said, babysitters, or even the shower scene in Psycho.
Yep.
After that movie first came out, and I'm sure we did it, you were afraid to take a shower. You thought somebody was going to come in and stab you to death. So the brilliance is people that take ordinary situations and put people in horrific situations, so that the people in the audience can feel that and then be afraid. I always wanted to make a movie about this guy that worked in a pet store of exotic pets, and they fire him, and he's a little slow and stuff like that. So for revenge, he does everything we normally do. Like he put a piranha in the swimming pool, and he put this is my idea anyway. You put a snake in the bed covers. So all of a sudden, if the movie works, you're afraid to go to sleep because you think there's a snake there, or go in the swimming pool, or all kinds of things to make things identifiable.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like some of the most successful movies that frighten you are the ones that force you to supply the fear yourself. So they don't show you everything. Like you don't have to give me all the gore and blood under the sun in order to frighten me. I mean, just give me the tools and I'll do the rest with my imagination.
Do we have to say Jaws again? Jaws is the prime example of that very formula, is the fact that you don't see the shark because half the time it's fucking broken. Steven Spielberg will admit to that. But you don't see the shark, and you don't have to, because again, you have an ocean. Yeah, and the theme, terrifying. I didn't even like the goodness 8-foot deep swimming pools at one point. I was like, I can't even swim now. I can't do it. And I'm not going to do it. For like 4 years after watching Jaws, I'm like, nope, not doing it. But that's the formula, is you don't have to see everything happen. And that's what's cool about The Exorcist too, is that, Pazuzu, like, you don't have to see that character throughout the entire movie. You see Reagan, so you know what's happening.
That's Pazuzu.
Yeah. I love the way that thing looks, though.
This isn't painted. We're waiting for the weather to change so Thomas can go out and paint this, but they're for sale. I just brought it since you brought it.
I'm going to buy one of those. No
they're
doubt.
very
cool. But again, that's the thing, is like, you don't see that character through the entire movie, but you just see what is happening with Reagan. So it's like, that's even more terrifying. Again, and Clint said it numerous times when we talk, sometimes less is better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah. Can I talk about another movie I did?
No. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. God, yes, please.
It hasn't been released yet, but it's one of the favorite. I think it's being released in September, probably around Halloween, but it's called The Night of the Caregiver. And it's basically a 2-character movie. An older woman who I play, and who invites a caregiver over to her house because supposedly the caregiver that she has couldn't spend the night, and my character is kind of deathly ill. And then you find out that she's not exactly what you thought she was. Much more. I don't even want to say so much more because the whole movie is what unfolds. But it's basically a 2-character, and it becomes a cat and mouse thing with the woman who plays the caregiver, and she's really good. but it was funny because it's produced by this big Russian who's just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he talks like that. I come up to his belly button, of course, and he was he had 3 times. What is that, Mr. Universe?
Yes, Universe.
Yeah, out of Russia. And apparently in Russia at the time, they only had 3 television stations. So he's a huge star in Russia. And we're going to open it there before the war started. Of course, no one's going to Russia.
Yeah.
But he's the producers and the directors, this guy named Joe. And it was just like we were talking about the indie scene. There's only Eric Roberts is in it because Eric Roberts is in everything. I didn't work with him though. But he is. He's in everything. He was in Babylon, for God's sake. I guess he learned his lines. He and Felicia Rose, I swear to God, are in everything.
Everything.
They are.
So I don't even go on Facebook and stuff like that and tell people all the movies I'm doing because they'll think I just take everything. Just because I do. No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have turned down scripts, but it's called The Night of the Caregiver. And if you guys like those other 2 movies, you really like this one. It's so well done. And we're shooting another movie called Kaleidoscope in the spring sometime. And it's totally different, but it's almost like black and white, so noir about what's going on with these people. And it's a thriller because people are ending up dead. Anyway,
we will watch anything you're in. That's the thing. We don't care. You can be in a rom-com, we'll watch it.
My manager always tells people that want to hire me and they ask for money. He says, whoa. And they say, you're using her because people come see her in movies. So shut up. Pay her.
Right.
Okay.
No, I've loved everything you've been in. I mean, it's and again, because you just like we said with the other 2 movies, you just take it to another level, and some people just they don't do that. Like you said, why half-ass anything, whether it's Hollywood or indie, and I've said it numerous times on our other episodes. At some point, Hollywood and indie there's going to be a parallel where those things just meet because there's so much talent.
It's happening now. When the studios are realizing how much money horror brings in. So, I mean, I don't know if the studios did Black Phone or Smile, Barbarian. All the indie films are coming out now and being so incredibly successful, which is wonderful for the indie market and the horror. Unfortunately, studios don't realize that, and this is another pet thing of mine, that studios don't realize you can't make a horror film unless you have a script. And the script, even as Shakespeare said, or God said, first there was the word. You have to have a script, or you don't. It's kind of like the curse of The Exorcist, right? They can't make another film about The Exorcist because that's not why they can't make another film. It's because they have these horrendous scripts, like Exorcist the beginning and Exorcist the prologue. Yep. I mean, and do you know who Tommy McLaughlin is?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
He's a good friend of mine.
He's been on our show.
To him once.
Uh-huh.
There you go. You're ahead of me. But Tommy was writing the script for Exorcist the prologue or the beginning, whichever. I don't know what the first one was. And they re-released The Exorcist, and it got so many people coming that they said, oh, we got to get a big name director. So they got Rennie Harden to direct it. But that was after they tried, that really talented religious nut. I can't think of his name right now. Paul Schrader.
Oh.
He doesn't know anything about horror.
Nope.
He's a religious guy. So they got him to write the script. That didn't work. Then they got Ronnie Harden to direct it. That didn't work. And they lost a fortune on Exorcist the beginning. And the prologue. They also should have released all 3 of them at once. So you didn't have a chance to find out how bad they were. Or even The Heretic. That's really Exorcist 3, which
I love it.
But they named it wrong. It had nothing
Legion.
to do with The Exorcist, right?
Mhm.
Nothing at all. It
Nope.
wasn't about possession. It's a brilliant film, and it went nowhere because people were expecting some kind of possession or something like that.
Mhm.
That sight of Mother Mary being desecrated still stays with me.
Oh yeah.
It just haunts me.
Yeah. And you know, I love the fact you bring that up, is that like well, Exorcist 2, first off, that was Heretic, the Exorcist 2. So Heretic came before that. And I can tell you, ooh, that movie is fucking terrible. But yeah, I know Exorcist 3 was supposed to be Legion. I know that was supposed to be the whole backstory behind that. And like you said, it's a brilliant film. I love The Exorcist 3. Clint knows that. That's one of my all-time favorite movies, just because I love, you know, Brad Dourif's performance, George C. Scott. I mean, it's amazing. You know, but yeah, again, it had the name. It just had the name.
Bill Blatty directed his own screenplay,
Mhm.
and Bill always said, we became really good pen pal friends before he passed, and he sent me a signed copy of the original Exorcist and stuff like that. Now I'm friends with his son. His son lives in Portland, but you know, Bill always said that The Exorcist was a brilliant film. There's no question about it. But if he didn't get along with Billy Freakin at all, and he always said that if they had listened to him, it would have been a brilliant film, but it would have been a masterpiece. And they had a big argument about doing the spider walk and stuff like that. And there was a lot in The Exorcist that we shot that never made it into the final cut because they said they just wanted to go for the horror. Like Kitty Wynn had a much bigger part in that film. You know, they kind of had the medical, the spiritual, and the religious. And Kitty Wynn was the spiritual.
Mhm.
And she believed in other things. And she's got nothing left in there. But anyway, that's what Bill Blatty said. He said they listened to, because they kept throwing him out of the editing room. And he could say, if they'd let me make this film, it would have been a masterpiece.
I mean, it's debatable. I mean, people say it's a masterpiece how it is now. I mean, well, maybe not a masterpiece, but I know people say it's one of the scariest movies ever made.
It's just like what he said, and maybe maybe what Bill wanted to do would have taken away from the film. But, we'll never know. Except I think the spider walk really, really enhances it.
Yeah. And, well, people need to remember too, and we bring it up. I mean, we talk a lot about The Exorcist a lot, and people tend to forget the spider walk wasn't in the original. That didn't hit until the director's cut. So unless you saw that version.
Yeah, but then they put it in the re-releases.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have the Pazuzu now, and the original was only once. And now they have it, I think, 3 times that it pops out. And the discussion is always which one was better.
I mean, it's almost like Star Wars, a special edition, like which is original better or the special edition better. I mean, because adding things doesn't always make a movie better, but I can tell you the Spider Walk was definitely iconic for that movie. I mean, for what it brought to the table. That was terrifying. That was just holy shit coming down the steps. Like, whoa, you only got it for like 3 seconds, but damn, like besides your face popping up, that, and probably the very end where Jason Miller falls down the steps. I mean, it is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying, without a shadow of a doubt. And
yeah, and it's just interesting that those steps were not outside the house. So that was a totally different location.
It was Georgetown, though, right?
It was Georgetown, yeah. And
gotcha.
I went there once with Lee J. Cobb because they wanted me to come down, and there's a shadow that walks across the window when Father Marin comes to the house the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought me from New York down to Washington just to shoot that little thing. So I rode in a limo with Lee J. Cobb. And we got out of limo and everybody went, Lee, who's she? And so they called me Who's She? for a while. But PJ Cobb was great. Oh, that's another one who died. Yeah, he was great. And, I was like a little kid in a candy store because I had shot, a couple little films. They didn't call them indie. That they called, I don't know what they called them. A lot of drive-in movies they made. I made something. Oh my God, I forgot the name for a second. I'll think of it in a minute. But it was a little black and white film. But anyway, I digress as usual. But walking on the set for the first time for The Exorcist, it was like, wow. Well, you read the book. It was like, wow, I'm making a major studio film, and I'm working with Max von Sydow, who I knew because my mother had taken me to see the Bergman films, like Wild Strawberries. And so I knew exactly who he was. Wow. And then it became a job. But I remember the first day coming out there.
I remember in your book, I remember you saying, is it the end? Is it the end? Is it the end? And then it was like, well, do we want it to end? Do we want this filming to end?
Oh, it was definitely a combination of both because that it just went on and on and on. And we took bets about whether we get past people's birthdays. And then, excuse my expression, is who do you have to fuck to get off this movie? And because people just aren't used to working on that long.
Well, it was 10 months, right? It was 6 filming, and then it was 4 editing, right?
Yeah. And Billy freaking tore down the whole living room set because he didn't like it. So we all went on a very expensive unemployment, for that.
Clint,
right?
You got to buy this book, dude. This book's amazing. I fucking love this book.
I'm in.
It's amazing. I love it.
And inspiring, I've been told.
Very. Yeah, to watch your journey, to read it and to know what you went through, it is very inspiring. That was definitely something I was going to say by the end of this was this book would make anybody want to do what you did.
Yeah, but it's also I like to think it because the whole beginning I talk about dreams, and it's not only the dream of being an actress, it's a dream about being anything you want to be. Maybe you want to open a wardrobe shop or a beauty salon, or maybe you just want to be a mom. But it's like, don't drop. My sister writes books, and she's actually written 18 comedy mysteries. And she had an expression that if you drop a dream, it breaks. So there's a whole conversation that I have about that. For some reason, there's so much negativity in the world, and everybody my parents said no to me. Like, what makes you think you can be successful? There's 100,000 people want to be an actor. And you just have to close your ears to it. They did let me go to an acting class when I was 12. I didn't tell anybody because I was so little and, very small, very flat chested, and I had funny buck teeth. So people would laugh at me, and even my parents did. I came out. We skipped the era with people like Twiggy and stuff like that during the 60s, but it was still close enough to James Mansfield or Bridget Bardot or those people that were big and breasty and totally different than me. So I just kept it a big secret. So the thing in the book really is, you have a dream, don't let it drop, just do it. And talk about it if there's people that are supportive. If people aren't supportive, then just don't talk about it. Just do your work. And it takes work. It's they had a book come out couple of years ago. It was very, very popular. It's called The Secret. And it was about manifesting your life. And they said, you can lose all this weight or you can be an actor. The thing they forgot to say, they said just manifest it or imagine it. The thing they forgot to say is that if you're going to lose all that weight, you better go on a diet. If you want to be an actor, you got to leave your living room. You got to join a class, join a workshop. And this is what I talk about when I talk about things like that. Put yourself in front of the camera. Go seek out college acting classes, drama departments. Be an extra so you know how it all works. But, put in the work. learn about what you're doing, because luck is being in the right place, the right time, and being prepared for it. And being prepared is the big one, because you might have the opportunity of a lifetime. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's bye-bye, you know? Like, I mean, I was discovered from The Exorcist doing this play in New York. But I was out on the street, that sounds funny, but I was out on the streets all the time looking for, and I saw this acting notice for this play called Ontological Proof of My Existence at a theater. And I went over there and I actually took a part away, I think, from someone else. And then agents came and saw me in that, and the rest is history. But you got to go out there. You got to do it. You got to, you know, whatever you do, you got to invest in your life. At the time I got The Exorcist, they were there, you know, we didn't have, God knows, cell phones or answering machines even and stuff like that. You had to be home and you had to get telephone calls. You read this in the book. And I was home on a Sunday and they called me about a Tony Perkins play called The Steam Bath. And they said,
yeah, this is a good story. I love this story.
They said, if you're available, come on right down now to the theater, because the actress who was playing this part quit. Her name was Joy Bang, which is a great name, Joy Bang, or a stripper. And I was there because I was always there, you know, and by my phone. And I went there, and you know, that was like 6 months of employment. It was right before The Exorcist. Wow, that was a big talk.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was fun.
About that, and people do ask me, you know, how do you become an actress? What do you do? You know, you got to do a lot. You can't just dream about it.
Right.
And some people do, I guess, if you have nepotism or.
Well, yeah, if you think somebody's just going to knock on your door all of a sudden, like, wow, okay, well that was luck. Like you said, that's luck 100%. And it's funny that you bring it up like that, because that's kind of how we did with our podcast. That's how we kind of got started. Was, you know, we didn't expect to do any of this that we're doing now. We went to a bar that we thought we were going to get killed. You know, because we just walked down like an alley and we're like, dude, I don't know where this place is. And I wound up there and we just sat down and talked, and we were like, you know, what do we want to do? How do we want to do this? You know, is it going to be something we can sustain? And, you know, we were like, we're never going to know until we try. We're never going to know until we get our first episode out. And our first episode was damn near 3 hours long. And we were like, our editing is obviously terrible. You know, when you have to have a sound effect of a screeching car hitting a wall and saying, hey guys, just letting you know,
we chopped the last 30 minutes off of this.
30 minutes of this podcast off because it went batshit nuts. We didn't know what we were doing, nothing. And then kind of the rest is kind of history. We kind of got our bearings together.
We got better.
and thought about what we were doing, and here we are now, a year later, and it's funny that you bring that up, because it's the same thing. It's like we didn't know we'd be where we are, and we weren't going to know we would until we tried.
Absolutely. How do you find your actors? I mean, Jamie was the one who told me about you, but how do you find your actors?
It was kind of funny because so Clint is an introvert. He doesn't talk to anybody. No, he's good.
Is that true?
No, he's good. He's good.
Not do that. And you're cute too, except you got dark glasses on.
Oh, sorry. That's my persona. That's my thing. That's my mantra with the podcast. Everybody knows me with my glasses on. I honestly, believe it or not, I just would go on Facebook and look and see who I knew, and, you know, kind of just would invite people and they would come on in the group. And I'm like, okay, you know, you do special effects. Would you like to be on the show? I'd like to know more about special effects. You know, how do you do this? How do you do that? And Jamie came on and we had a great time. And in fact, before she got absolutely slammed with all she was doing, me and her did a podcast called Guts and Bolts, where we would bring in other special effects artists and we would interview them. But she's gotten so busy now. We haven't got Clint. When's the last time we did an episode?
It's
8-9
been
months ago. It's been awful because it's been awful, but she's got her opportunity. So by all means,
if she goes to from one film to another, but somehow it's not as crazy as Felicia.
yeah,
I don't know because she's young and vulnerable. Maybe talk about FX artists. Maybe you want to talk to Larry Bones about With Child.
absolutely.
About Dark World of Oz.
Oh my God, yes, please.
Oh my.
Let me ask him. He's always doing something. He's doing something called Something Fair, FAIRE, like August 26th. And I'm not sure what it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something with vendors and people. And let me talk to Larry and see if he'd like to do it. I bet he would.
Oh, we'd be
amazing.
honored. Yeah, we'd be honored. And now that I know about it, that's once Indiegogo, Kickstarter, whatever comes out for that movie, that's on the page like constantly because I will push anything to do with a Dark World of Oz. I am in there like swimwear.
Well, maybe he'll set up. I don't know what her name is. I don't remember, but the girl who plays Dorothy, who's just really sweet and really nice and really talented. So let me check out the two of them. I'm sure you've talked to everybody about With Child through Jamie, right? I mean, have you talked to Jeff and Laura and those people?
I haven't got in touch with them yet because I've been trying to get a lot of other things set up, but I know I want to get them before the movie comes out. So I'm going to talk to Jamie when she gets a free minute and see if I can get her and a couple other people on at the same time. That way I can kill 8 birds with one stone. And
where does that expression come from? I don't want to kill any birds.
I mean, I don't want to kill any birds, but I don't know what else to use. I don't know what other analogy there is.
Yeah.
Knock down 2 cans with one ball. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe they don't have a lot of ammunition and they're hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never understood that either. I'm like, damn, that sounds.
Though, and I do it, and then I forget sometimes. You can Google any expression, like a Rolling Stone gathers no moss, or a stitch in time saves 9, or anything like that. You can Google it, and they give you a whole where that expression came from. Or,
I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, I just want to say it. I just want to say it and be like, to hell with it. I don't know where it came from. It sounds good. And then Google's like, let me break this down for you. Let me tell you where this came from. Damn it, Google. Nothing's sacred anymore.
I'll give Laura, because she does the lead in With Child. She lives in the UK. So I will give her your information, and I'll also give your information to Larry Bones. And,
awesome.
And like you said, anybody else you might want to bring on with him. Maybe he'll go on with the girl who plays the Dorothy character. And maybe I'll let him figure that out. But he's one of the most kind and generous people I've ever met. He's really just wonderful.
I'm pretty sure Annie M's in that movie. Maybe we can get her on it. I don't know. I'm just saying. I heard she was all amazing.
She doesn't do podcasts. She don't do it for free. I heard that.
Yeah. I heard she can be really mean too.
Yeah, all about money. It's all about money.
Hey, I understand. You gotta make your money somehow. And
like I said, with all these people asking you to do podcasts, and you can't spend your time doing them. So you really have to pick and choose. I mean, look how long it took us to get scheduled.
I know, right? I was
there today. I swear to God, I walked in the door at 25:05.
And you know what? All you would have had to do was say, "Hey, I'm behind," and I'd have said, "No problem, dear."
I know you would have, but I wasn't going to do that again. And March 19th, I started getting really busy. I'm doing 3 films and the convention all after March 19th.
Right.
It's one together after the other. So, no, this was it. I had to get back here, and I knew I would. And then when my computer wouldn't work, I went, oh, shit.
This ain't meant to happen. It's not meant to be.
Yeah, and then Thomas set it up so I didn't have to sit here holding the phone. Actually, I have a Zoom with my manager tomorrow. We do it the first Wednesday of every month. And I don't know, maybe my computer won't be working for that. And then he'll go, Eileen, buy a new computer. I said, why don't you buy a new computer for me?
There you go. See, you're the manager. Come on now.
A lot of money. Buy me a damn computer. And of course,
Damn right.
most of us are stuck with Apple for whatever reason.
Ugh.
Go to Costco and buy a computer for $250.
$200. Yeah. Then it goes bad, and then you're just like, hey, can you give me another one in 3 years?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But no, the guy who fixes my computer, because my computer is 2011. That's not what I work today. It's something because of the rain. He said, keep this if it works, Eileen, because the new computers are made to break, and you'll never have a computer that lasts you 12 years. So okay.
Oh, I'm an IT tech, and oh God, that's so true. After seeing it, I totally agree. I'm like, man, it's like printers. You could kick a printer out of a window and go buy another one for like $90. Like, God, that's terrible.
But they don't last that long.
Yeah, they last like a year. It's like, damn, I didn't even print that much stuff out of here. I just turned it on.
My printer right now comes up with these error messages, low paper. There is paper in there, you idiot.
Yeah, right. I ain't printed shit. How's there low paper? Come on now.
And I got rid of my color laser printer because the ink is so
damn. Yeah. Oh, you might as well just buy a new printer.
I know exactly. You have to buy colors separately. And Thomas said, "Do we really need a color computer?" And I mean printer. And I said, "Well, I like it." And he said, "We don't need it." So we got our black and white laser from out of the storage, and it has. Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
First VCR was $1,000.
Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, and it was big, but it lasted forever.
Oh yeah,
big. And the thing came out there. I was cast on General Hospital, and I said, "We got to go buy, we got to buy a VCR." So
it's this big ass thing. It looked like
back when they were a top loader.
Yeah, top loader.
Yeah. Anyway, I've talked so much. Do you guys have any specific questions?
Oh my God, I don't even what? What? We've done good.
We did great.
We did great.
Yeah. My only thing that I was kind of interested in was because you've done so much and you've had so many wonderful experiences. Is there any that stick in your mind as one that you would call your favorite? Whether it's a character or a part that you played, is there any that you could claim as your favorite?
They always say it's the last one.
Yeah.
I really can't, because I love Grammy Vampire, and I love the character in Night of the Caregiver, and I love the neighbor in all I guess the last ones I've been doing I really, really like. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is difficult.
Yeah.
Not difficult to shoot. Difficult, I think, to like. And
yeah. It's
I've been very lucky. There's only 3 or 4 films that I wish I hadn't done. No, that's not true. I would have done Rob Zombie's film anyway. But there's really only been 2 or 3 films that I'm not really proud of. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good
for considering your career. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Really, most of the films that I do and the ones that are coming up that we talked about. Well, that's the other thing about indie films, and especially if you're known for playing demons and witches or bad people, or victims, stuff like that. Then basically everything I get to play is okay. When I did General Hospital, I played a character in a mental hospital for 2 years, and I had so much fun because she was crazier than she had a couple screws loose, but it was so much fun. Carried the doll with a gun in his head, and everybody else on the show would come up to me and say, "You have so much fun. All we do is 14 coffee." So I've been very blessed that way and very lucky that way. You can see my things there's some General Hospital things on YouTube. The best one is in German, but you don't have to understand the dialogue. I get in a big fight with the main character, and everybody always says they like to see women fighting. I don't know why. So
see, most people roll up to a convention with like the Pazuzu's 8x10. I'll roll up there with the 8x10 at General Hospital and be like, Can you sign this, please?
Have one?
I'll print it off of YouTube. I don't care. I'll figure out a way
Yeah.
to do it.
I got two.
Yes, yes.
I got two of them for the show. I keep them in, little.
Oh, my mom used to watch. God Almighty, she used to watch daytime soaps like they were going out of style.
Well, everybody did.
I did too. I watched Days of Our Lives for like 5 years. Yes, I am recording this and saying that on our podcast, and I'm not going to edit that out.
That's a big step, Don.
Well, once you start watching them, it's like anything else.
You can't stop.
Get kind of addicted to them.
Absolutely. Kind of like horror movies.
I can tell.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Good God Almighty. I knew this was going to be fun. I knew damn well it was going to be fun.
I was going to talk this much.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it.
You get people on there that say, "Tell us your favorite movie," and they go, "Exorcism," and then shut up.
Yes.
It's happened before.
It's just like that too. Like just like that. Like no soul at all. It's just like, yeah, this.
Well, I don't know. They're shy or they think they're uninteresting.
I don't know. I can honestly tell you, kind of like you, where you've had 2 or 3 movies that you're not proud of. We've had probably 2 interviews that we're not proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like,
they may never be seen.
I don't think they're ever going to be seen.
Well, Exorcism will never be seen. I shot that years ago, and the director said, the reason we can't distribute this is because it's so much a better film than The Exorcist, and they're afraid of the competition. What?
Okay.
You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah. That'd have been my expression too. Are you
too
fucking
good?
nuts?
We can't show it.
Yeah. What?
Now you guys are gonna look it up, and it's just really a dreadful film. We tried to make it into a comedy, but he wouldn't listen.
All right, now here's something I'm curious about. So they're apparently rebooting The Exorcist. So they're making it into a series. And by the look on your face, you're not very happy about it, or don't know a lot about it. But I know that they have Ellen Bernstein coming back in it, and I'm like, really? Did we not cover what we needed to cover in the original movie?
Well, television series they did. They just kept pulling things, excuse the expression, because I hate it, but sometimes it works. They kept pulling things out of their ass. I mean, all of a sudden, like Reagan was grown up and did this and the other thing. I like the kids in it, but did you see it?
I didn't mind. I mean,
I've seen it. Yeah.
The actors were good, but the story was just batshit crazy. It was like, where do we go? Like, again, why do we have to take a story that's been done to its maximum and just add things to it? I mean, The Omen did it. You know, you had Damien throughout whatever, him growing up and everything, but unfortunately those movies got progressively worse. But I don't see the need to continue a story that was already told. I mean, it's already over. You hit the end. You didn't need any more.
Yeah, what they say is, and I say it with great disdain, but Weinstein was on the set when we shot, what did we shoot? Halloween. And he kept saying, and it was true, he said, just get me a damn trailer. Just get me a damn trailer. And that's all they need, because they shoot the movie for, well, not less than the original, because that was so long ago, but they shoot for as little as they can, except they paid Malcolm, who's a client of my managers, but he's a great guy. They played Malcolm a lot of money, but everybody else, and they say, we'll make the money on the weekend. And that's what they do. They make all the money they need on opening weekend. And they used to make it on DVD sales, but I don't think there are DVD sales anymore. But that's all they want. And that's why they keep making sequels. That people will go see them, no matter how bad they are. and they just make the money back. So they shoot them for $20 million, and they make $20 million on opening weekend, and the rest is gravy.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do it now because everything's so pirated and streamed, and the way that it is, it's like, you can't, that's what we've learned with the whole indie scene is, distribution is a man, it's a crapshoot. It's a gamble because you don't know who's going to take your film and you never see it again. All of a sudden it's not your movie. It's not your film because, hey, all my distributing rights, guess what? I sold them to them. And a lot of people, and we know a lot of them, they burn their movies and that's how they make them because they can't afford to distribute it because they don't want to lose their film rights. And I don't blame them either because it's your movie. You made it, you directed it, or you produced it, you wrote it, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose that.
Can you sell directly to things like Netflix or Tubi? And
Oh yeah. That's what a lot of people. A couple of our really good friends have done that. They've gone right to Tubi, and it's as much as people like to make fun of Tubi or like to knock it. I can tell you, we have watched movies on Tubi that should be on Amazon and should be on Netflix because they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And, you just hear Tubi, oh, it's free. It looks like Pluto, Plex, stuff like that. It's like, oh, so they're exclusive to that. Yeah, that doesn't make them a bad movie. It just means that those people were smart and didn't sell out to Amazon or Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, if you can sell out to Amazon and Netflix.
I would 100% without a doubt.
But do films move? I think films move off it. Where did you see Of the Devil?
That's currently on Tubi. Yeah.
You saw it on Tubi?
Mm-hmm.
They were on a lot of other streaming networks as well. I don't remember offhand, but I know they were on other streaming things besides Tubi.
A lot of people they go all routes just because, the exposure, if
you want people to see your movie. It's a great way to get it out there now. Tubi's very popular. And
well, I was talking to this guy about fan films because I need to be in it. Just to do a small part out of my house, actually. And my manager says, you got to pay. You're using her name. But anyway, we were talking about fan films and that are really, can't make any money on them. So they're really calling cards, but they do work as calling cards for a director that says, hey, I got this film. I know how to direct it. I know how to make it. And I'm not quite sure what he said, but there is one way that you can make money on it, direct screen. I don't know what it is, but there's one way you can make money on fan films, but mostly you can't.
Yes.
But that works really good calling card for people now. And I think it's good. You just have to have enough money to, direct it and produce it and do a good job. It's kind of like, I had a friend of mine who worked in distribution, which is a dying place now. And they said the obvious, if you haven't got the color right and you haven't got the sound right, don't even bother showing it to us. So, first you got to get that right. Then you have to have a script. And I guess like becoming an actor, there's a lot of work you have to do. It's like people who are successful on GoFundMe. Oh my God, they work all the time. They're working like 12 hours a day to get their name out there and do things. And some people do very, very well. And some people tuck their tails and go home.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You couldn't have said it better myself on that one. I couldn't have. It's that
that might be a good closing line because we've been talking an hour and a half.
There you go. Bam. Bam.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yes.
You?
Very nice to meet you.
I can't thank you enough for coming on here. I can't. I have had more fun than I thought I would. I knew it was going to be great, but not this great. This has been phenomenal. Talking with you over the weeks, I knew it was leading up to this. And guys, if you can check out her book, Exercising My Demons, check it out. Go get it from her directly. Don't do it on Amazon, like we said at the top of the hour. Don't do it. Go to her. Go get it. She's going to be at a con. I don't know if I can say what con. I'll let her say if she wants to. New Jersey.
New Jersey Horror Con. It's got a real simple name, and
Yep.
it's 23rd.
23rd, 26th,
No, then would have to be
or
24th
25th.
and
Yep,
20th.
25th.
So we're going to be. And what I always say is that if you come to the con, you come to my table and mention this podcast. You call it a podcast.
Mhm.
That I will give you a little gift. Little being the operative word. No,
Oh.
seriously, though, if you come to the con and mention this show, I will give you a little gift. As a matter of fact, if you order something from me and mention this podcast, I will give you a little gift. Because that's the kind of girl I am.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Love it.
Well, we'll be there. So you may see us.
We'll
before we
mention
see
the
you.
show
We'll
for
mention
sure.
the show though, but you may be like, hey, that's some assholes that interviewed me for an hour and a half.
I'll probably recognize you, but just in case I don't, please don't be offended.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
We're coming to see you we're coming to see you as fans. Then we're fans now, but definitely fans then.
No, now you can come see me as friends.
This is very true. This is very true. And I will cherish that 100%.
Interview more than one person at a time.
What's that?
Do you interview more than one person at a time?
It has happened.
It has happened.
We've had like
8
cast and
people.
crew interviews where we've basically live streamed and talked to an entire production. So it was.
Yeah. I was thinking if Larry has the time to come on here, Larry Bones, then I could come, or I could come on with Laura, because I know she'll say yes from the UK. So we'll see if we can work that out. We'll work it out with them first, and if then I'll come on.
And you can come on again whenever you want and talk about whatever you got going on.
Okay. I would love that. Okay, so I'm going to say goodnight now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm going to find out when my brother-in-law is going to move to Virginia. And if you want anything from me, please don't hesitate. Oh, I got to do one quick thing. Do you mind?
Nope.
Go ahead.
I showed you Pazuzu.
Yep.
So we have that sale. I also have Exorcist scripts, the original script, not the original, but it's copied from the original script. And I have Captain Howdy's Green Pea Soup. And I also sell Pazuzu's heads if you can't afford to buy the whole body. But that's the head they found at the beginning of the film. And it is copied from the original. And I'm probably forgetting some things. A lot of 8x10s and a lot of 8x10 screenshots that you've never seen. And everything I sell, except for the book, you just can't buy anywhere else. So if you're interested, like I said, you can send me an email at eileen@eileendietz.com. Very easy to remember. Or send me a message on Facebook as a private message or a notification, and we'll get together.
There you go, guys. That's how you get a hold of her. You want something? That's how you do it.
And if you do that within the next 24 minutes, we 24 hour, whatever, we will include absolutely free.
Right. I remember those blue screens. I remember those way back when with the, what was it? COD, no COD, like damn, cash on delivery. Who does that now? Good God Almighty.
We're all about PayPal.
Right.
Or I have a Square. I can take credit cards over the phone too.
Look out.
I'm not a money person. It's just like when I'm on shows like this, I don't really think a lot about money, except when I do shows like this. And then
by all means. Hey, by all means.
I have to pay my rent.
Damn right. Exactly right.
Okay, guys, this was really fun. You call me too if you want anything from me.
Will do.
Have somebody on the show that you think I would make a good co-guest on. I would be glad to do it.
That would be phenomenal.
Out how, and I'm glad it worked out tonight, and I'm glad I could do it on my phone because I don't know what's going on with my computer.
Well, hopefully your manager gets you a new one.
Thank you.
We'll tell him. Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, I always like to give him a promotion, and he handles some really, really well-known people besides Malcolm McDowell. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Absolutely is.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
And Clint, nice meeting you too.
It's very nice meeting you.
Absolutely.
You're so cute. It's not that you're
you.
not dumb, but you're really cute.
I get it. I get that all the time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.